Hello out there, friends. Welcome back to One Stage at a Time, where we are playing through a classic video game one stage at a time. Today on the program, we're continuing our playthrough of Doom for the PC from 1993. I am Andy, and joining me as always, Aaron and Sam. Boys, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Feeling proud. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Feeling downright devilish.
Well, today on the show, me and Devilish Aaron and regular Sam will be playing through E2M5. E2 is, of course, The Shores of Hell, the second installment in the original Doom. And the title of this map is Command Center. So let's just get into it. I'll hit you guys with some stats here. By the way, listeners at home, this is going to be a long one. This is a big level. There will be no additional bullshit segments in this episode. We have a lot to cover.
This felt like the longest level. I spent the most time in the level, I would say.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. The part time, again, only a minute 30. I was thinking about this today because on Friday, Jeopardy got preempted by the Masters tournament, the golf tournament, which sucks. You know, obviously, I would rather be watching Jeopardy. But I had it on, and I was realizing, like, actually, it's really hard to make par on a professional golf course. Like, even the most professional guys, like, they usually don't hit par.
I think that you're realizing that golf takes skill. Like, it's like, man, look at these assholes. Why can't you just make par?
You just put the ball in the hole. How hard can it be?
So what you're saying is that it's good. It's appropriate that par is really, really quick on all these levels. Like, It's supposed to be super duper hard. Like, par is not what the average person should get. Par is like something that someone with a high level of skill should get.
Exactly.
I feel that now that I've played the level thoroughly, I could probably hit that par knowing where to go. Because it's not this level specifically. There's not a lot of like bullshit. If you just want to get to the end, if you know which doors to go through, there's no key cards, there's nothing stopping you but it's just knowing which doors to go through and getting through the enemies. If you could get around them, that would speed things up a lot too, because there's a fuckload of enemies in this level.
There are indeed.
Yeah.
On the ultra violence difficulty, there are 138 enemies, including 4 Barons of Hell.
Mm-hmm.
We are just like cutting a swath through the demon aristocracy in this game. It's just like we're doing it for the peasants of the Hell dimension. Like all the landed gentry are going to be dead by the end of this game.
The par was 130. You said. So I'm proud because I 100% at this level, but it took me almost 25 minutes to do it.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds about right. It took me about the same. There are, I forget how many secrets, 8 or 10. There's a lot. The track for this stage is called Demons on the Prey by our good friend Bobby Prince. I don't know. This is a decent track, I would say. Not my favorite one, but it definitely gets the job done. What did you guys think?
What does that mean, demons on the prey? Like, is that just a play on words, demons on the prowl, but you're hunting them, so they're prey? Is that what that's getting at?
Yes. I took it to mean they're preying on us, or humans.
Interesting. Okay.
Like they're like in the process of preying on humans. There's a lot of...
how's prey spelled?
Well, look, they better pray because the Doomslayer is coming.
There was a lot of human bodies in this one. They really lean into the hell aspect even more, big time on this. My favorite little like, it was just a room, and I thought there'd be something special. There was nothing special about it. You go into a room, and it's just like flesh walls, but then there's like this really cool, it looks like skin that's stretched and sewn to the wall, but the skin is like mechanic and like cyberized or something.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool looking.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like something straight out of a Cronenberg movie. Like flesh has been like stretched over the walls. We've got like grotesque faces, like Aaron's favorite, like the twisted, grotesque screaming faces.
Yeah, more
and there's like tubes coming out of the metallic part
Very
going into the
Geiger-esque.
flesh. Yeah. Yes, very Geiger-esque. Super metal, very tight. Like I said, reminds me of like a Cronenberg movie or of like Hellraiser. Like blood everywhere. Unclear what this terrible machinery could be for.
It's like clearly flesh, but you're not sure what body. It looks like you're watching Skinamax when you were 13, and it's like all fuzzy.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think that was a boob. There was a foot.
Is this a horror movie or a porno? I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Jack off either way.
I had the weirdest boner.
In a Cronenberg movie, that's about right.
It's very Cenobite-ish, like from Hellraiser. Like the lots of, it was like real stretched with hooks, kind of stuff.
And everybody was a little aroused or a lot aroused. And
John Romero walks into the room with like needles sticking out of his face, and he's like, "I have such sights to show you."
Yeah, bro. But yeah, the music, this was one of those, I know there was music, but I didn't really think about it much for two reasons. One, there was too much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of these levels where I spent a lot of time backtracking, but mainly because I wanted to I knew there was a secret way out, and I really wanted to find it. And it took me a long time to kind of go, oh, but the music, don't remember a single thing about it. So it's just kind of great video game music where it's just happening.
Mm-hmm.
I noted sorry, go ahead.
It fades into the background.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, it did for me too. But like at first though, I noted it like right off the bat, like because it built, and I thought it was really cool, like to start off kind of spooky, and then it went into like this synthesizer, like John Carpenter sounding melody, and I thought it was really cool. But once you're playing and you're fighting all these fucking monsters, it does sort of just fade away.
There are an absolute assload of monsters in this stage. Like Sam mentioned earlier, this is indeed the biggest stage so far, possibly, according to Big Mac Davis, possibly the biggest stage in all of the original Doom, with the possible exception of some stages in episode 4, which, as we know, was not part of the original release of this game, but is nevertheless included. And it's just a massive sprawling map. I think it's easily like bigger in terms both of like volume and area, but also in terms of like how long it takes to complete it. The enemies, there's just so many of them. They're in tricky places. 4 Barons of Hell on Ultraviolence. This stage really tests you, and I will not be embarrassed to admit that I had quite a lot of difficulty getting through this one.
It was just borderline confusing. Not quite confusing, but there was just every door led to 2 doors that led to 3 doors, which led to like, hey, there's something over there, but I don't know where the fuck that's at. I like, in that the big open room where the columns come down, the 2 Barons of Hell come out. There's 2 Caco demons that come up out of the nukage pit. Like I accidentally fell in there and was cursing myself, but that's how I found like a different way out and realized there was 2 like extra hallways hidden down inside there. It was insane. It was just it was just constant, like just door after door after door after door.
It's got
but I didn't get lost.
It's got a lot of depth, is what it's got.
Yes, yeah. There was a lot of like levels too, like up and down. There was like, it's like there was 2 maps on top of each other almost.
Yes,
but that's not possible in this game.
That's true. Yeah. You can't be on top of another like area in this game. There can't be any areas stacked on top of each other. But you might not realize that because they're so good at like layering things together, like Sam was mentioning. There's a lot of verticality, nevertheless. And like you were saying, like every door leads to 2 more doors, which leads to 2 more doors. There's no key cards, but nevertheless, like it's easy to get lost in this stage because it keeps winding back on itself. There's so many different ways to get to the end of it, and then when you factor in the secret exit, there's just like exponentially even more ways to get through it. So it's an incredibly complex stage with lots of secrets, lots of traps, and we can thank our friend, the god. Carl Sanford Peterson, or whatever his full name is, because he designed this map solo. Tom Hall was not involved in this one. This was a Sandy Peterson original.
Nice. No wonder we like it so much.
There was like, I mean, there were 2 switches that I can think of that I still don't know what they did.
Yeah.
One is the one that Big Mac just used in the
big vine room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one right before that where you go, there's kind of like the hub that there's like 3 skeleton doors, and behind you is the big cacodemon room.
Mhm.
There on the left, you go in, you kill some pinkies, and there's a switch, a skull switch in there. And those 2 switches, I have no idea what they did because the level's so sprawling. I just assumed something good happened that I flicked them.
Well, I'll tell you what the second one does. You're talking about like the room that feels kind of like an altar or like some kind of like sacrificial temple where we have like all these candles and there's like flaming like effigies like set into like recesses in the walls. And the switch that you're talking about in that room with all the pinkies, when you press it, it causes some stairs to raise that allows you to walk into one of the flaming effigies, which leads to the secret teleporter, which then leads to the secret exit.
Because that's when I finally found it. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I knew I was looking for a teleporter because I was looking on the map and I could tell where the secret exit was because that was the only place I hadn't been to yet. And so it's like looking around, and I saw the stairs up to that, and I didn't remember that. I'm like, well, that kind of looks like the teleporter pad, so maybe I'll go in there. You go in there, there's a teleporter pad, and then there's, I think, why most people hate, I think, what are those flaming skulls called?
The Lost Soul.
Oh, man. Oh, God. I had to do that like multiple times. You go in, and there's like 20 of them in like a 4x4 square room.
They just fuck you.
Yeah. I had to use every single bullet in my chain gun when I finally got them.
Dude, that is a rude trap. Like, you can, I mean, what I eventually did was go in and jump back out as fast as possible and then just kind of wait for them to follow me through the teleporter. But even then I had a lot of trouble dispatching those guys without them depleting all of my health.
For those guys, I think, and I'm sure that I didn't have nearly as many as you guys did, but I think that I used the chainsaw, actually. I got my chainsaw back. I was really excited to get that back. Yeah. In the last episode, I mentioned how badly I wanted it back, but I got it back. It's in this level.
I was going to ask you if you obtained the chainsaw.
I did, and I used the chainsaw on those Lost Souls. It works pretty well in the Lost Souls, but again, I think that you guys probably had a few more to deal with.
Yeah, normally when I died the first time, that's why I died. Is I tried the chainsaw, and it almost worked, but they were just too many, and they just start bombarding you. The chainsaw, the chain gun, unfortunately, has like the knockback, so it was keeping them away from me long enough. But I had like less than 100 bullets going in. So I was like, I don't know about this.
Yep.
I used every single bullet just to kill them all.
The other option would be to use your plasma rifle. But I ended up using so much of my ammo for my plasma rifle just killing the 4 Barons of Hell in this stage that I felt like I shouldn't be wasting it on Lost Souls, but it might be the best option.
I had my rocket launcher for the one that's in the red room across the blue nukage.
Yeah.
But the 2 that come down, I think one of the times I did actually just killed them with the shotgun. It took forever. It's probably why my time was so high.
They take like 25 bullets with the shotgun.
I was running out of ammo on my big guns because there's so many points in this where you're like, oh shit, and you pull out your big gun to handle it. Just like Big Mac here, he goes in. There's a dark room right before the exit that you go into, and then like a bunch of pinkies come rushing out. That was a rocket launcher. No, I had like 230 plasma rifle rounds, and I was like,
yeah, just unload. Big Mac Davis punches them to death because there's a berserk pack in this stage. Mm-hmm. And pinkies are pretty susceptible to that. You just have to like get yourself in a corner or in a bottleneck where they have to come at you one at a time. And in cases like that, punching is actually pretty effective.
I'm not good at it. Every time I try and use the berserker thing, I just end up getting so hurt that I restart the level.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Berserker does not go well for me ever.
No, thank you. I'd rather have the chainsaw if I had to choose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about that first like open atrium type area, the kind of like the central hub of this stage. It's like right in the middle of the map. It's just a really neat area, I think. Like you walk in there and the atmosphere is really interesting. You can see like out into like the open air of the moon of Deimos. Like you can see like mountains in the distance. There's just all these enemies. There's these two nukage pits to the left and the right. There's a big like effigy of Beta Ray Bill right in the center. The Caco demons like float up slowly from the pits. You got tons of like possessed troopers and imps. And then you walk forward, to pick up like these plasma rifle cells. And that's when they hit you with the two barons that just come down the elevator, like fucking like you're at like a wrestling match, and then they start playing like the Ultimate Warriors music, and you're like, oh shit,
it's the Barons of Hell, and you got a chair.
My God, they're playing the Barons of Hell music.
Tag team.
It's a really cool area. Big Mac.
Now, what Big Mac Davis does is he gets the Cacos and the Barons to infight against each other.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that about Doom.
Awesome.
Yeah, super cool strategy there. We'll be seeing more of that in the next stage. Little preview for you there. But yeah, infighting becomes a crucial component of the game from here on out.
Yeah, I love the animation of just like the Barons of Hell like whooping ass up on the Caco demons, just like just big punches right to their big eyes.
Yeah, because they'll do that. So I on my playthrough, actually, in one of my deaths was I decided to see how it went if I used the Berserker power up and punched a Baron of Hell a whole bunch.
Punch back.
He just starts ripping your face off. It's surprising, and it cost me my life, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was just like ah.
Did anyone spend like too much time on the pedestal that had the beating heart on it?
Mm-hmm.
So like the last level
there, yeah.
was, I think it was the last level, had the skull on the pedestal that was a hidden switch. So I was like, oh, this is probably another one, since it's the only pedestal with something. No, there was nothing.
just a nice little
waste of time.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's cool looking. The heart
awesome.
was beating.
Yeah,
I'm imagining like nice Mormon boy Sandy Peterson like designing this stage. He's wearing like this special Mormon underwear, and he's just like tapping away. And John Romero's like, "Are you sure it's okay for you to be doing this?" And he's like, "No, it's fine. The demons are the bad guys.
It's fine. All right, just it's okay. Trust me."
If Spielberg can have a still beating heart, then we can have a still beating heart. God damn it.
I got to say, like, they've really cranked up like the hell theming in this stage. We've got the beating heart on the altar. We've got like shish kebabs, just like with human heads just impaled on them. We've got bodies hanging from the ceiling. We've got the Cenobite room, like you mentioned earlier.
That had not only did it have the Cenobite wall, but it had the great like floor chandelier made of skeletons with like 3 skulls and like a rib cage on fire. I really like that. It's like I just like imagine if they make this really cool stuff and they just like kind of throw it in one room. Just one room. It's just sitting there. Maybe it'll show up more later, like they're adding more and more of it as we go on. But I did like that. And like the kind of tiki torches made out of human heads they're all over the place in this one.
Dude, so metal, so tight, so sick. I love it. I'm getting really into the atmosphere.
I mean, I loved the like castle aesthetic that so much of this level had, like the giant wooden doors and that one area, which I think is actually it looked like a direct homage to Castlevania with the blue ceiling and like that's the stone walls and everything. I thought just the design of those aesthetics was awesome.
Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I was definitely getting Wolfenstein vibes with like that stark blue ceiling. It just it felt like a very like kind of like bare stark Wolfenstein style corridor. But yeah, like you said, Aaron, like there's a lot of wood. There's that like spiraling wooden staircase area. I really like that. And it's kind of juxtaposed against more of like the hell stuff and a little bit of the tech stuff. Like there's a couple of like UAC themed areas, but mostly we're in hell. we're in the depths here.
And more Dead Doom guys too.
Another thing that I liked a lot was the vines. I guess we've seen a little bit of that before, but they're all over this level. just kind of on the walls. And then there's that one area like down in like the vault, like underneath like the sacrificial altar area. You go into this one room where the walls are just almost entirely vines, and there's like nukage poison like all around the outside, like a moat. It made me feel like, we're in like some kind of poison cistern, like underneath like this hell castle that's just like overgrowing with all these poisonous vines.
All toilet.
Yeah.
What is with the vines? Like is hell like also like a tropical like rainforest? I don't really understand exactly.
Well, you see what happened is the Witch of Izalith attempted to create a new flame, but in doing so, she became the bed of chaos in the demon ruins beneath Anor Londo.
You lost me, man.
Dark Souls reference.
Gotcha. Damn.
What a long, sprawling, fun level.
It was so funny that like the first thing that you guys were talking about was how long it was. My first playthrough of this level, I found the secret exit like straight away. It's almost like I beelined for it. I found it so fast. So like Sam was messaging about how he like had so much trouble finding it. It took him forever. I was like, yeah, that was not my experience here. I got there quick. And then what a surprise the secret level was.
I actually just remembered. I found it even faster than Aaron.
Oh, I wasn't bragging. I just thought it.
Neither was Andy.
Oh yeah, I actually just remembered. I found not only did I find it faster than Aaron, I took no damage.
Only punched too, and he killed every enemy.
Yep.
He's a pro gamer. Nope. There's no other way to put it. Andy is pro gamer.
Pro esports gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about another factor in this stage, the nukage. There's like a really, really long walk that you have to do to get to one of the secrets in this stage. Fellas, did you have enough radiation suit to make that walk, or did you just have to haul ass and try to get there without dying?
I had no problem. When I saw the suit, from now I just don't pick them up until I find the place that I'm like, okay, might be where I need it. So I had no problem and made it all the way through without taking any damage. There's like a shorter one that I just ran through multiple times and take like one or two ticks. But the one that's basically like you go down to the main vine room and you can see through the vines to all this nukage, and you go back through it again, but around the outside. And that if you don't have your nukage suit, would probably almost definitely kill you. I mean, there's no way I don't think you could get through it without dying or almost being dead.
Yeah, it's a really long walk. I like how at the end of it, it's just kind of a dead end, but there is like a secret entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you open the secret entrance, it's not just a door that opens; it's like a whole hallway that like rises up out of the nukage.
Yeah,
I didn't even come across it. I found the radiation suit and I used it to get across the super short one. I was like, oh, well, okay, that wasn't really necessary, but I guess it's useful. And then, I just continued on through the level. And if you don't know like where secrets are, you just sort of like are going, you're just going to continue and go in the right path. And that's what I did. And then I got to the end of the level. I'm like, well, I could go back, I guess. Or I could just end it here.
Yeah, like there's two suits, I think. There's
I didn't even find the second one, just the first one there.
I think the second one's in the center of the stairwell, the spiral staircase.
Yeah, we're watching Big Mac Davis do it right. He just picked it up.
I found that one.
Yeah.
Yep. And another thing is that in the big atrium area in the center, which is one of the first areas you would go to, there is a computer map, very like plainly visible. So you have access to the map for this stage pretty much the whole time. So finding the secrets is not actually that difficult. You kind of know where they are. Nothing is like really obtusely hidden. Like some of them are where you have to like walk in a certain place and then run back to another place before a door closes. There's nothing like that in this stage. You just have to be able to get there, which can be, a difficult puzzle in and of itself.
Yeah, finding the right skull in the wall to press in order to activate the door that's around 3 corners, and
Then fight 4 barons of hell to get there.
Yeah, whatever.
How many barons did you have to fight on Hurt Me Plenty, Aaron?
Total, I think a total of like 3. Not nearly as many.
Well,
not nearly as many as this. As in, yeah.
Okay, I think there's only 1 or 2 on Hurt Me Plenty.
Yeah,
but
yeah, two or 3. Because again, I did accidentally start the secret level, which is a few more. But yeah, no, maybe just 2. Yeah, there was definitely more than 1.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to call you a liar, but when I looked at the stats earlier, it said there was only 1, but that doesn't mean the stats are correct. They could have just like recorded it inappropriately.
You liar, Aaron.
No, maybe I'm remembering wrong. I did play through it a few times, but.
Well, something that I was reminded of it since we're watching the video of Big Mac Davis punching out all these pinkies. Well, when he got to this part, he says, I wrote this down because it cracked me up so hard. He's like, destroy the gangbangers. And then this one that gets away from him, he's like, oh, where'd you go, bitch? He doesn't swear all that much. So him calling the pinky a bitch really got me.
He's really getting into
it. By the way, I was curious. So I did a little bit of, further research on our friend Big Mac Davis. He's still at it. He still releases a lot of videos on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. He's not DeForest Kelly. He's a YouTuber, and he's putting out stuff right now. I watched a couple of his videos, and yeah, he's still at it.
Yeah, he does like walkthroughs, like the one for Doom. Seems to do a lot of like shooting type games. But hey, good for him, Big Mac. Salute to you, sir.
Keep at it, dude. We love it.
All right. So this is an enormous stage. Like we said, the biggest one by far. Big Mac Davis gave his thoughts on it. He said that he believes it's the largest stage so far and possibly the biggest in the whole game. And he's mixed on it. He said that like he enjoys it. He thinks there's lots of good enemy placement. Good variety. You're kind of forced to use your entire arsenal of weapons here. There's some interesting secrets, and the individual areas are all kind of interesting and unique. But it can be kind of frustrating because of just how big it is. It can be confusing. It's one of these stages where you just have lots of like disparate areas kind of grafted together on one another, although not really in a Tom Hall way. Sandy kind of puts his own spin on it. But I see what he's saying there. It's almost like a David Lean movie, like Lawrence of Arabia or Dr. Zhivago, where it's like there's parts of this, like individual parts that are really, really good, but goddamn, it was 3.5 hours. Did it really need to be this long?
I as someone who didn't find all of the secrets, every single last little bit, I did not really find it all that too huge or overwhelmingly large or long or anything. So, I mean, I gotta disagree with them on this one. I really liked it. And I thought that it flowed better, the disparate parts that were grafted together better than they had in previous levels, personally. Maybe that's because it was from the ground up by Sandy Peterson, and he had a little more control over crafting how everything felt. But I really dug this level and how it flowed and how it felt and the length and the difficulty. And I was a big fan. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah, I think it feels like the theme flows through all the different parts. So like it may be a little weird, like with like this chunk of the map and now this chunk and that chunk, but at least it felt like military base that is being turned into hell. It felt. I wasn't like, well, this is weird when I went into like the marble room or something like that. Because up to this point, it just felt like is more like it's slowly just transforming it more and more into like the hellscape. There were even parts where like some of the walls had like, I don't know what you would call it, like rot, where like it was like rotting into hell stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. Like they was like showing the transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good visual storytelling. Like the textures are really interesting. There's such a huge variety. I love the demon faces. I love like the lion faces. Just all like we mentioned, all the torture, just bits of scenery, like the altars and like the heads on spikes. It really gives a lot of flair. Like it may be big, but it doesn't feel like as disjointed as like some of those Tom Hall maps did. It feels natural, even though it's like, I don't know, it's like it's creating an intentional effect, like making you weirded out. Like the deeper you go into it, you go from like the atrium to the castle, and then suddenly you're in like this fucked up Cenobite world, and you're like, it's making you. It's like a Lovecraftian thing. You're slowly going insane the more you play this level.
And I love it.
Well, Aaron, what do you call it? I looked at the Doom wiki, fandom, doom.fandom.com, or whatever the hell the URL is. And turns out you were right. There are 2 Barons of Hell on Hurt Me Plenty.
I was fully prepared to be like, yeah, man, I just imagined a second one or whatever. Because I was always sleep deprived and fucking. But no, cool. All right.
I feel like John Locke at the end of season 2 of Lost, where like that electromagnetic disaster is about to happen, and he looks at Charlie and he's like, "I was wrong."
John Locke made everything worse in that show.
He fucked up in the most horrible way.
Always, just because didn't want anybody to tell him what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what I can't do.
I work at a box factory. Yep. That 3 seasons in a row of that show end with the reveal of his dead body.
Is that true?
Yeah. Because like at the end of season 3 or maybe 4, they're like standing at a coffin and you like don't know who it is. And then at the end of the next season, that's when they reveal that it's John Locke's body. They don't tell you that until the whole end of the damn thing. And then the next one is like they open that big metal thing that they took on the second plane with them. And they're like, look, he was dead. And the one that's walking around is actually the Man in Black. So like the big twist at the end of each of those seasons in a row is that John Locke is dead.
That show is so stupid.
Dude, in retrospect, it was very stupid.
Like even like you're watching the last season and you knew it was stupid. Like you like were like, was this stupid? Was this whole thing stupid? Like you don't want to accept it, how stupid it is.
Because you've invested so much time into it.
Yeah, and like you enjoyed it. Like that's the thing. Like it was really stupid, but the whole time that I was watching it, I was enjoying myself. It wasn't like Game of Thrones, where like the last 2 seasons you were like, this is stupid and I'm not having fun.
Nah, the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, they're pretty nice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're good, actually.
Okay, Andy is not allowed to share his opinion anymore. But like, you're watching the last season of Lost and you're like, is this stupid? And then it's like the climax of the show is Jack and the Man in Black having a fist fight on a steep rock. And you're just like, I think this is stupid. I think this is really stupid.
Wait a minute.
And then they were in purgatory on all the other side stories. The entire that whole season, they were in purgatory for half the season. We didn't know it. You're just like, well, that's stupid too.
And it turns out that they were swearing the whole time that like there's nothing magical, that it's all science. And then like the big reveal is that like there's like this little creek that it leads to like a cave where like the mechanism of karma for the entire universe is kept. And if you pull a plug out of it, then like the whole world will it's never made clear, but apparently like all goodness in the world will disappear and the Man in Black will bathe the world in eternal night. But fortunately, Desmond put that plug back in just in time.
Yeah, I mean, like I knew we were in trouble when what's his face Ben was in that giant hole and he pushed the magic wheel and the entire island teleported.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess they could maybe somehow finagle that into like it was an old rickety wheel, but it was actually at the top of this giant advanced hyper super super device that was put there by aliens. But it turns out that no, it's just a magic rickety old wheel in the middle of the island. That magic wheel.
Turns out it was just bullshit.
Yeah, I read somebody who like once dissected like everybody has all these complaints about Lost that it doesn't answer any questions and da da da. I'm here to tell you that it does answer all the questions. Just some of the answers are really stupid. Many of the answers are Magic Island.
Yeah. What's in the hatch? A Scotsman.
Yeah, exactly.
A
Scotsman.
magic Scotsman.
He pushes some
As it
magic
turns
buttons on
out,
a
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
John Carmack's at home watching Lost, and he's like, "This show is unrealistic."
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you this, boys. Something that makes perfect sense and doesn't need any explanation is Doom from 1993.
Dude, it really is a tight fucking story. No mystery boxes at all. Just
internally consistent.
That's right. Angry man with guns. Go.
John Carmack is like, we will adhere to the monomyth perfectly. It will be a perfect character arc.
And they did.
And they did. Can I lay this on you boys? I know I promised there wasn't going to be much history for this episode, but I read a funny story the other day about when Sandy Peterson first interviewed for the job at id Software after Tom Hall's ignominious departure. He interviewed with Romero and really impressed him. Like Romero put him in front of a computer and Sandy just started designing all these crazy maps and like clearly had like a clear vision and was like, copacetic with what they were trying to do. And Romero was like, we should probably hire this guy. But Sandy was like, well, look, I have 5 kids because I'm Mormon and I'm going to need a little more money than what you're offering, like to raise my children. And he said, like, Romero was like, well, I'll have to talk it over. And Sandy was leaving. And as he was leaving, he ran into John Carmack, who was like, I was really impressed with your work. And then Sandy said, like, a couple days later, he saw Carmack again. And Carmack was like, I told you that comment earlier before I knew you had asked for more money. So please don't take it to mean that I am approving you wanting more money.
It's like that compliment did not mean that we're going to give you more money. I love it. So he sucks.
I think Sandy did get more money in the end. I'm not clear.
Well, he came to work for him, so I assume, right?
Yeah,
whatever he was okay with. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have left his other job if it wasn't like a good deal for him.
Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Fucking get that money, dude.
Get that paper, Sandy.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Final thoughts on Command Center before we wrap it up today.
Hella fun.
Yeah, this one was great. I like I said, I really, really liked it. And I understand the complaints of it being too long and too big, but it wasn't an issue for me, possibly because I missed half the level. But no, I thought this was a great level. I loved it. Definitely high point for me thus far. Looking forward to what's next. Getting gang raped by a bunch of barons.
There were a lot of really fun killing sections. There was the one I remember the most and enjoyed the most is where you go through and there's like, I guess they're sergeants, just like the normal. They don't have shotguns. Like you open the door and there's like 20 of them or something crazy. And there's like a huge number of them. Yeah. But like they die to one shot to the shotgun. But also if they're standing behind each other, they'll die to one. In a row, they'll die to the shotgun in one blast. So it was just like, it felt really good just to mow them all down with like 5 shotgun blasts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they went down really fast with the chain gun too, which was.
And there's like, I like that because it shows how like there's always like multiple ways to dispatch enemies in this stage, but in the game as a whole, because there's windows in that room and you can see them from like across like an empty space through like another set of windows. So you can just like snipe them with your chain gun from like far away if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
I always came at it from the other direction. So I would kill them and see the Baron and take him out from across the way with my rocket launcher.
Dude, not a bad way to go. I remember like, because to get to that area with the Baron, there's like just a regular narrow door. And one time when I was playing, I walked through that door and the Baron just kerfucked me, just like shoved that green energy like right up my ass. I went from 100 health to 2 health in no time flat.
Oof. Did you try punching him real hard? Because I tried that once. It didn't work for me, but it might work for you.
If I was Mike Tyson, I might have. But unfortunately, my fists just aren't powerful enough.
I really hope that one day Mike Tyson gets to punch that gorilla that like he really wants to. Have you heard that story?
No.
The gist of it is he was at like a zoo and he really wanted to punch a gorilla. So he asked the zookeeper if he could go in and fight the gorilla. And they were like, no. No, you can't do that.
I like that he like asked for permission. Like, I really need to speak to the head zookeeper here. I have a very serious request that I'd like to make.
It might be an urban legend, but I read it online, so it must be true.
Of course.
I think that Mike Tyson should lend his likeness to Nintendo once again so they can make a true sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
I don't think Nintendo would be interested in that, honestly. Like, as for as much pop culture, enjoyment everybody gets out of Mike Tyson, he's not a good person.
Well, they did, Nintendo did famously take his name off of future releases of that game. It was called Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream.
Is that true? I haven't heard the Mr. Dream bit. That's funny.
Yeah. In like the 1.1 and 1.2 releases of the NES version, his name is taken off of it. And when you fight him at the end, he's just called Mr. Dream.
Okay. I still feel a little weird the fact that they remade Punch-Out for the Wii, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they took out Mike Tyson as the final boss and instead used a gorilla.
Oh, DK?
Yeah. And
He's a secret boss. He's a secret boss.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I just knew he was in there. I was like, ooh,
this could be
Nintendo.
or it's a slap in the face because it's the gorilla that he wanted to beat up.
Yeah. That means that the gorilla won. The gorilla won. He's the new champ. And Mike Tyson's out of a job.
He's just at home like seething over this, like writing angry letters to Nintendo every day.
And the gorilla.
He's back in training. He's going to fight again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Fuck yeah, I'm excited.
I watched a video of him actually training. He's still
terrifying.
Yeah, my God.
In his prime, he was so dominant. He had every belt under the sun, just like laid out everybody that challenged him.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He was shockingly, superhumanly good boxer. Like, credit where credit's due. Bad person, great fucking boxer. Good Lord.
You could probably say that about a lot of boxers, if not every boxer.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Including the Hurricane.
But Doom Guy Berserker mode would fucking eat him alive.
That's absolutely true. Nobody fucks with Doom Guy.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts on the level? And did we do you?
I kind of agree with Big Mac Davis on this one. It's like a David Lean movie. It's like Dr. Zhivago. Like, I'm really enjoying it in the first half. There's certain scenes that are really affecting. Then by the time they get to like the ice palace and like Yuri and Lara are like slowly freezing to death. And he's like writing really bleak poetry in the midst of like a Siberian winter. At that point, I'm like, okay, let's wrap this up. I'm getting you're losing me a little bit here at the end.
I do think that this would have been a good level to introduce maybe a new enemy. Because I feel like it's been a while since we've had a new enemy to deal with, and I think this would have been a good level to maybe throw in something new to keep us interested a little bit.
Yeah, like a new weapon would have been really cool.
Or that,
yeah. Ooh, yeah. Imagine if like after fighting through all this bullshit, that's when like the vault opens and the BFG 9000.
I thought that's what it was at first when you go to that little circular area and there's the another plasma rifle or whatever. I thought at first I was like, oh fuck yeah, BFG.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the same thing, but now it's just the plasma rifle.
Yeah, not yet.
A good weapon if you don't have it. Good to find.
Good to have. Yeah.
Because like I know you guys probably found the chainsaw and you're just like, it's a chainsaw. But I was like, chainsaw.
Yeah. Interesting trivia. You can get pretty much every weapon on this map. Except the rocket launcher. You can find rocket ammo, but not the rocket launcher itself.
Yeah, because you get the chain gun at the beginning, plasma rifle later on. Those guys drop the shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I forget if we mentioned it already or not, but this level is not in the SNES version because of its size. It was cut, to save the file size. Most of episode 2 was cut, actually. There's only a handful of levels from episode 2 that made it into the SNES version.
That's really interesting. This is the second level that had a secret exit that was cut.
Well,
right? Didn't the first? I mean, like they moved the secret exit to a different level, right?
Yeah. The secret exit is in a different stage.
Yeah, but in E1, didn't the secret exit level, like on PC, didn't that get cut and the secret level was moved to another one? Or secret exit was moved to another level?
I don't remember offhand.
Yeah. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But anyways, okay. If that's the case, then that's interesting.
How interesting.
I got nothing else. I got nothing. No follow up. Just making a note.
If true. Yeah, this is Jonathan Frakes Beyond Belief. Did we make it up? Not this time.
Isn't that Ripley's Believe It or Not? Wasn't that host of Ripley's?
No. Dean Cain was Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. You're right. I'm mixing up my nerds.
Famous Superman actor and bad opinion haver, Dean Cain.
Yes, he has some bad opinions. Yeah, which is a shame. What a shame. It's always a shame when your 90s TV nerdy TV show stars have bad takes.
Yeah,
Kevin Sorbo's and
Kevin Sorbo. Yeah, that's the one I always regret.
Dude, it's like Sorbo and Dean Cain. They'll always like kind of get they won't get a pass from me, but I'll always kind of have a soft spot for them. It's like as bad as they get, it's like, oh, but he's Hercules or he's Superman.
I compartmentalize it with like there's Hercules, Kevin Sorbo, and he didn't have those opinions. It was after that. That's when he got all bad.
Yeah,
it was. What is that? Andromeda. It's Andromeda.
Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo. He's the bad Kevin Sorbo.
That was like the shitty like Star Trek or.
It was Gene Roddenberry. He was attached to it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Still shitty, but
I always heard that it wasn't bad. Like it had like it was cheesy with bad graphics and everything, but it was an all right show.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, it was like pretty low budget. I caught an episode the other day, and like they had some kind of like black hole generator, and it was clearly just had a couple of CDs glued to like a tube. Like it was. I mean, I remember watching it on syndication and watching it, but I mean, forgettable,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But there's better 90s, Farscape and Stargate SG-1.
Yes, sir.
A few are way better alternatives.
Yeah, if you're looking for like a mid-tier sci-fi show from the 90s, you can do a lot better than Andromeda.
I wouldn't say. I would say SG-1 is definitely not mid-tier, but we don't need to get into that tonight.
What about Cleopatra 2021 or whatever it was?
Babylon 5? That's in there.
That's
in the conversation.
Speaking of people with bad takes, Adam Baldwin, Jane from Firefly is another bad opinion haver.
The hero of Canton.
Yeah.
All led by Mel Gibson.
the God Emperor of angry white guys.
Just the Lord of reactionary white guys.
League of supervillains.
Oh,
baby. Yeah, so
the only angry white guy we like is Doom Guy. That's the only angry white guy.
That's right. Yeah.
And Big Mac Davis.
And Big Mac Davis.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. He doesn't seem angry. He seems pretty chill for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to do a salute to Big Mac Davis, salute to Sandy Peterson, salute to Doom Guy. No salute for Dean Cain, though.
No.
Wag of the finger
try,
for Dean Cain.
We know you're watching. You're not going to get what you're looking
Not
for
this
here.
time.
Please leave us a good review.
We made it up. It's a complete fabrication. Okay. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Tune in next time where we will continue to talk about 90s TV shows that we like. We will also be talking about the next stage. We will be taking the secret exit. So we will be leaping, traveling through a time portal to E2M9, which is called Fortress of Mystery. So please tune in for that. We are contractually obligated to put that little spin on it whenever we say the name.
Yeah, I mean, it's spelled with 6 R's and 12 Y's, so you have to.
You have to do it.
You have to.
All right. So let's see. That'll be in your podcast feeds in like a week's time. So please look for that then. In the meantime, Aaron, what do you want to say to the folks at home?
I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. OneStageAtAtime.com for more episodes and links to all of our things. Please leave us a review and share. We don't do any promotion for this podcast, so if you could share it, that would be really helpful to us, actually. Please follow us on all of our socials and give us likes there. Show us love. And thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Sam, thank you for joining us, my man, as we continue on our Doom journey here. Why don't you give us that sign off, my friend?
All righty. Everyone out there in podcast land, remember to save and continue.